What's going on, guys? So what we have here is another map guide of Junkrat for King's Row, obviously. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break down this into 3 parts on defense and then 3 parts on offense. To start out, we're going to do defense first point, second point, then third point. I'm going to end the recording after each point because my audio keeps messing up, and this is like the 4th time I've tried recording the thing. But anyways, to start out, what I like to do is throw my trap at the beginning, just like every other map. But the only difference between this map and other maps like Haunted is that I can't stand right next to the front door because of the potential Widowmakers that might pick me on the balcony up there. So we do need to watch out for that. What I recommend is using this pillar for coverage when you shoot, when there's like 2 or 3 seconds left before the game starts, start shooting at the door. Or you can use this room right here and shoot right over this fence right here. And this spot's probably a little bit better because you do have that health back there and you don't have to worry about a Widow going to the balcony or anything and killing you. So after the spawn kill, make sure you try to hold the choke point as much as possible by using this room. And the best way to do that is to use this room here. There's 3 different exits and a health pack there. So if you need to hold down the choke point here, you can do that. If you get hit, you got a health pack and you can back up to your team right here. As they push to the point, you can look to the left and hold down the point there. Also, you have some flank action if you need to. You can hit their supports in the back line with a one-shot combo, or you can use a riptire right here. You can just use your riptire and bring it in through the back. Basically, this is the best spot to hold on first point because it's the least vulnerable, where you can also get behind their team quickly and do the most damage. The spot's also good because you can just concussion yourself up to high ground. If your team is getting flanked, you can shoot down that hallway, get up and down really quickly as Junkrat, and watch the flanks. So why I don't recommend going over here to hold is because mainly your team is going to be holding in that general area, and if you're over here, then you're pretty vulnerable. There's no health packs, and if they decide to push you with say Genji and a Diva or whatever else they have, then you're going to be by yourself in this this whole room over here. There's not really a lot of exits that you can get. So that's the general sense of the first point that I like to talk about. Every game's a little bit different, every team is a little bit different, so you might end up over there during the fight, but generally I highly recommend holding down that room as best as possible. If anything, hold down the high ground, but just make sure you watch out for heroes like Hanzo and Widow that can carry them. So let's cut this clip and head over to the second point. Alright guys, so for the second point of defense, I recommend a couple different things. Definitely you want to try and hold down this choke point if possible, because Junkrat's so effective at the choke, but sometimes that's not always able to be done, because if your team is super staggered from the first point, say they're still running back in the spawn, you really do need to just back up and let them have that choke and regroup with your team back here and hold this corner. But if you are able to hold this choke point, then get your team to hold the choke, and if you do have your ultimate, then I really recommend taking high ground and telling your team, okay, I'm gonna ult up top behind them when they push through the choke, and then be like, okay, I'm ready to ult, push through now, and then use your riptire and drop down and get a couple kills on their backline supports. So that's extremely beneficial, but you do need to be aware of the enemy team comp. If they have comp like Soldier, McCree, Roadhog, Reinhardt, Zenyatta, and Ana, none of those heroes have vertical mobility, so they can't go up to the high ground, so you should be really safe up here, and you should be able to abuse this area and shoot down on the payload. But if they do have like a Genji, Diva, Pharah, things that can come up here, then you're going to be super vulnerable, so just be aware of that. And I highly suggest just not even holding down this high ground if they do have those heroes, unless you're confident enough in your 1v1s. But if they have 2 people that can do vertical mobility, then I recommend just not even holding down the high ground. So if you do need to back up to this next choke point, give up that front space, I recommend holding down this room right here. Someone drove my game. I recommend holding down this room right here where the health pack is, because you can abuse that health pack and you can use these angles and hit some nades off the back walls there. You have traps if they try to push you, and you have the option of going up top and getting some potential flank riptires if you need to. In a general sense, that's probably the best area that you can stand, is that room right there if you're fighting in the second phase. Or you can also remember that you can use the payload as cover as it's coming through. So for third point defense, we are going to, I really highly recommend holding up this top balcony here. But if anything, you can hold down behind this pillar or this barricade here, because you do have a 250 health pack and a 75 health pack there. And it really all depends on how much pressure they're creating, if you're waiting for people to regroup or if they're about to cap. But if you guys are safe, then I really recommend holding down this top balcony here, because you can utilize these walls for grenades bouncing off of them, and you can utilize your traffic concussion down above them, and you can watch the flank super easy with a 75 health back there if you do need it. Most likely you won't, because your healers are going to be in a safe area, but high ground is extremely good, and you do have the option of coming in this room to use a riptire, or you can do a flanking riptire in this hallway. Just be aware of enemy heroes that can come up and kill you, but really this is a really good spot to hold, because you can shoot over that way too. But if you do get pushed back, then just use the payload and this pillar as cover, like I said before. So for third point of defense we have here, basically you want to just give up this whole area. What you can do is use this room here to create pressure, because you do have a 250 health back there, and you can also hold this right room over here if your team does opt for holding this very front of the third point. But I do not recommend it, because their spawn is right there, and it's just not worth holding that compared to holding back there. What you can do though, if you do have a riptire ready, like I said before, you can hold this, you can get up in this room for a flanking riptire, or you can get up here to high ground for another flank riptire. Just tell your team back up, bait them a little bit, then tell your team to push in, and then as they push in, use the riptire and drop it down right here for a flank on their backline supports. But like I said, I don't recommend holding down that front area. I would go ahead and just back up to this safe position right here with your team and regroup, because your spawn is super close and you can hold down this area for a really long time on the third phase. This spot right here is the best spot that I would recommend using, because there's a 250 health back there. You have multiple doors that you can pop in and out. There's also the payload that you can hide behind. If they're behind the payload, you can shoot your grenades off the back wall there, and you can even concussion yourself up top and use this box for cover. Like I said, you can use the walls there again, and being above them, it gives you a huge advantage. And you do have the ability to peek over on the left side. If you're nothing to worry about over here, you can shoot people trying to flank. This is a really good safe spot for riptire as well if you want to use it here, or you can opt for using the payload for cover and holding down this right hallway. You can shoot over in that corner and peek in and out, and use your concussion traps and use this small little lane right here. But I like that spot better because it's just closer to the spawn. This spot doesn't have as many outs. You can go back this way and then like concussion yourself back, but this is just a huge open corridor, so it's just not as safe as holding down right here and holding on that top position. So for the third phase of third point, I highly recommend holding down this room right here where the 75 health pack is, because you can abuse that. You can peek in and out, you can shoot right there, shoot high ground, shoot right here, and you can even watch the flank a little bit. But you gotta remember, you will have the payload for cover as it's coming around the corner. So I do like this spot, and you can just use a riptire like this, bring it around the corner and blow it up on anyone that tries to pressure the payload. If anything, if the payload, let's say, is right here where my trap is, then you can back up to this back hallway. Say you have 2 people on the point, but you only have 50 health and you need to hold down payload and make sure you don't die. Then just back up to this room, and you can keep peeking in and out and providing damage, try to get picks for your team. And it's a really safe spot. So basically, that's King's Row in a nutshell. One last thing, you can use this top ground as cover, because there is a whole like thing, like doorway, whatever this is, big bolt thing you can use for cover. Normally you don't have to worry about people going high ground, so you have the ability to shoot down on the payload. But like I said, it depends on what their comp is and what can go high ground and what can't. So this is actually a really good spot. But anyways, that's King's Row in a nutshell for defense. I'm gonna go ahead and end the clip here, and let's go on over to offense. Alright guys, so this is gonna be the offense side for King's Row. Normally when I'm on this map, I like attacking first, because it's just a lot less stressful, and if you do a good attack, then the other team gets demoralized. And Junkrat is so much more fun on offense than it is on defense. So to start out, do the typical throw your concussion before the game starts, so you're able to concussion yourself up to this balcony. and then you already have another concussion ready. What I usually do is play here for about 4 or 5 seconds and just hit some grenades, wait for your team to push through the choke. Usually a high level gameplay, everyone holds the point, they don't hold this choke point. So you're usually able to just walk right through. The best strategy that you can use is to get up there. So what I like to do is peek here and try and get them to push back a little bit. And if you can get up here safely, throw down a trap for some safety, extra safety. Challenge those people if there's someone over here. Usually it's just a Soldier 76, nothing else. Everyone, typically, at least at my rating, above 4,000, everyone always holds the point in that area. So getting up here with Junkrat is extremely good. Basically, you just chill right here and launch nades. There's no strat to it. There's nothing special. You just sit up here and you shoot grenades at them. You can keep moving around over this way. If they have supports like a Mercy that hides back here on Anna, you can peek this window. It's just so fucking good. That's all you gotta do is get high ground on offense, and that's the best strategy there. I don't really recommend flanking down below or holding down that right hallway or anything. Another thing you can do, depending on the game situation or comp, you can use this room. You can get some quick one-shot combos. You can abuse this health pack. You can throw traps in the doorway if they try and challenge you. This is a pretty good spot. Other than that, I mean, the attack is pretty simplified. There's nothing really crazy about it. My favorite is going up top, but sometimes if you're getting shut down, you can use that health pack room. And usually the first point's extremely easy to take. So if you do take it, then those are the 2 strategies that I recommend for doing that. So once the payload appears, what I like to do is get up higher ground. If they're holding here or there, just put some pressure on them, throw a trap, try and catch someone, and just keep applying pressure. Usually this is free push, as in you'll push the payload all the way around here for free without them even contesting. Normally what teams do is they hold this corner right here. So I like holding here, and then what you can do is you can go around this backside. I don't really recommend it. It's not worth it because it's such a long hallway that you have to run down, and you're gonna get picked if they are holding here. But what I recommend is using this space if they're holding. If their team is pushed up holding the choke point, holding this area, then you can utilize this flank, because what you can do is get right back here and you can use your rip tire, or you can just stand behind them and pull them back or shoot them in the back. Just you being behind them and harassing damage, maybe using a rip tire, getting 1 kill is enough for your team to push up and wipe out the rest of this. But you gotta stay alive though. It's all about staying alive. If you do this flank and get picked, then it's extremely bad because you guys are down a player and they're able to do whatever they want. So that's the only thing I recommend using that flank for. If they are holding that corner, what you can do is you can actually get a couple poke damage shots up here, but you don't really have a lot of cover. So you can do that, maybe push them back up top right there. But my favorite spot is to just hold down this room right next to the health pack as usual, because you can just peek in and out. If they push you, you can throw a trap. You got the health pack, and if they push you in the room, you can just keep backing them through this hallway. But I love this because you can just keep throwing concussion damage, pushing them back while you guys are pushing the payload for free. Once you get around this corner, you can transition back over to this room, which has that 250 health pack, and you can use that trap and concussion space. And then if you guys are winning the fight there, you can proceed to go through. But if you're struggling, then you can eventually make your way around the backside and maybe do some crouch walking and try and get a good flank. This is only good if they're not holding this space here, if their entire team is over in this area, because you can get behind them and do a flank tire. And if you guys noticed when I did that rip tire, you can, while you're pulling out the tire, you can turn around and look. You can look around corners. Like I could see around the corner before my tire was even pulled out. So that's one thing I always do, is I watch my flank and watch around the corner when I pull tires. That's just a little random tip. But yeah, so that's the second phase of the second point offense here. Usually when you get around to this corner, you can use the payload for cover. You don't want to flank around that left side. It's not really worth. Just keep using the payload for cover and pushing them. Normally they don't have anyone over there or up there. They're usually all in that area, sometimes up here. If they are in that room, and you can go in this window here and push them out. Once that payload does get around that corner there, you can choose to use the payload as cover, or you can move up in this room. This room is really good, depending on what comp they're using, because you can shoot them and they can't shoot you. Like if there's someone right here, they can't hit you while you're hitting them with nades, throwing concussion and traps at them. slowly just pushing your way through with the payload. And then finally, when you do get around this corner, you can, well, right now you can't run in there because I'm on offense, but you will be able to run in here on offense, and you can use your rip tire in this hallway. And what I like to do is, like, I'll tell my team, okay, I'm gonna use my rip tire, but I'm not gonna bring it in. I'm just gonna run it into a wall for about 5 seconds. I want you guys to pressure them because they're gonna back up because they're scared of my rip tire. That allows your team to push the payload, and then when they engage because they need to contest, you bring your follow-up rip tire in and you try and get a couple kills. Basically, that is the nutshell of the second point offense. You don't really want to hold down left side, even though there is a health pack over here. The problem is they're usually all pushing in this way, and if they choose to opt to all make a hard switch and push over here, you don't really have a lot of outs. I mean, you can concussion yourself back, but then you're just completely out of the fight and you have to run around all around the backside, and it's not really worth it. You're losing a lot of pressure by doing that, and you're not really going to get a lot of gain. Alright, so for third point offense, basically once you do get this point, they stop pressuring the whole time, and they usually hold this corner, maybe sometimes this corner, and they have some people up top or in that back hallway there. It depends on their comp, but a typical offense is you push the payload and use it for cover around here, and you just keep providing damage. Depending on their comp, you can go up high ground, which is my favorite, because Anna's on your team and Mercy can fly up here and heal you, Zenyatta can heal you, Anna can snipe you, Lucio can wall run up here, and you can, I mean, usually this isn't great, you can flank here if you need to with grenades, traps, concussions, but you can use this box for cover. This is the best spot, because if they're in that hallway over there, any of that area, you can use this box for cover. You can shoot over it, you can shoot into that hallway there, and if they're underneath you, it's really good trap potential traps, and your team's allowed to push a lot easier. They can't really flank because you can watch the backside here. This high ground is extremely useful. If they're locking down this high ground extremely well, then what you can do is abuse this side hallway here. If you make your way around the backside and walk in through this back hallway, you can just try and get some picks, random one-shot combos, pressure the tanks, get them to come over. You do have a 250 here, but you probably won't need it because you have supports on your team to heal you. Just try and slowly push in through that way. You can even crouch walk and get a flank tire if you like stay crouch behind that barrel there. Different strats to get around the corner. So once you do get around this corner, what I like to do is abuse this hallway. Same for offense as I do on defense. Use this right here. You do have that 250 health pack to abuse, and you just keep using this hallway to abuse. There's really nothing else to it. You can go to the left and use this ground over here, but in my opinion it's not that great, because look at your vision. You can see over here and you can see like that way, but typically when they're defending, they're all holding down in this area, so you're not going to be able to shoot them with nades if you're over there. But if you're holding down this spot, you can see there, you can see there, you can see there, you can see there, and there. The only thing you can't see is on the right, but no one ever holds over there because there's nothing to stand behind over there. There's a 75 health pack, but there's no box. Like this side has a box and a 75 health pack room. Typically everyone holds on this side of the point on defense. So once you do get into the last phase of King's Row, what I like to do is to do that stall rip tire technique. You can say here, I'm going to use my rip tire, I'm going to run into a wall. I want you guys to push the payload, try and win. They're forced to contest, so go and then use your rip tire, run into a wall for like 5 seconds, and then bring a follow-up and finish some kills when your team is engaged. So once you guys are at this final point and you guys are all fighting, what I like to do is to go straight to one or the other spawn doors. Don't worry about the point so much. Just go to the spawn doors, throw down a trap and a concussion, and try to spawn kill their staggers, because if you can spawn kill one person, it completely messes up their cycle of contesting the payload, and it's extremely helpful. And one person can hold down, or one Junkrat can hold back 4 people in that spawn door. Trust me, it's extremely good. And if they try to get past you, you have a trap set. If they destroy your trap, you have another one ready to set right away. So that's one person can hold down a whole bunch of people just playing Junkrat. I like to do the left door. You could do right door if you want to. Left door is just typically better because more people tend to go out this door, and you can use these hallways here, and you can just turn around and shoot like that. And if you're anyone's over there, they can heal you. So it's basically just the best idea to hold that door. The final thing I'd like to mention is that in a weird situation, you can use this back room here. Normally I like to do rip tires back here, just poke damage. If you're unable to get spawn kills, or if you really need to kill them on the point, or like say it's in overtime and you need to stay near the point, but you have low HP, you can abuse this room. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's King's Row attack and defense in a nutshell. If you guys have any questions, please put it in the comment section. I will respond, I promise. If you guys want to join my Discord and ask me personal questions there, just tag my name and I'll respond there. Feel free to get connected with me on Twitter. Also, I have a Facebook now. I'll put a link in the description if you guys want to check out Facebook content. I usually just upload reminders that my stream's going live, some random Twitch clips of the day, and my newest YouTube video links. So if you want to support me there, it'd be greatly appreciated. And once again, I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I'll see you next one.
Play of the game. You'll like this one.